Skinwalkers, mysterious entities in Navajo culture, malevolent witches who can take on different forms, typically appearing as animals like coyotes and wolves. They're never to be spoken of, as they're known to track and hunt down those that speak of them out loud. I'm gonna have to take that risk though, as I've been tasked with sharing the top 10 scary Skinwalker sightings in history we can no longer ignore. And we're starting off this list with a short account posted to Reddit by user temporary value 421. It goes as follows. On a late walk, perhaps around 10:30, 11, me and my sister took a path through a churchyard and approaching an enclave in the next field. However, we heard a scream. It was not like an animal nor human. The harmony of both high and deep was rattling, like a man screaming crossed with a dying animal. There was a hedge on our way, obstructing vision. Whatever it was, it lay behind the hedge. We both looked forward and saw the silhouette of a tall, crooked thing. It was on two legs, though its back was hunched forward, its head long with jagged teeth. We didn't know what it was, nor did we want to. In any case, without speaking to each other, we ran in the opposite direction. Both of us. I am a coward, but my sister is tough as nails. She wouldn't simply run from an animal's cry, and yet we both ran. At our number 9 spot, we have the bathing skinwalker. Yeah, this is a weird one. Skinwalker or not, this is a creepy little video. So it's nighttime here. We see some folks pointing flashlights at someone or something bathing in a pond. It then stands up, and you can clearly see that whatever this figure is, it looks very shiny. I mean, like, sure, it was just sitting in a pond, but even still, almost looks like the figure is coated in oil or mud or something. And there's something about the way it moves that just makes it look not quite human. The figure seems to have very long arms, and it's hard to make out their face. Anyway, then it starts rushing towards the camera as our cameraman and his friends turn around and run. Number 8, Skinwalker in the grass. This short video was uploaded to TikTok by user It's Louis Vuitton, and the sighting is very brief, but it shows what looks to be some sort of pale, spindly creature rushing towards the camera. It could also just be an aggressive man out in a field on his own, which is scary as well. They were filming out of their car window, flashlight in hand, in search of a buck that they had just seen before starting to film. But the cameraman quickly realizes that what they'd seen is not a buck when a pale figure abruptly stands up out of the bushes before hunching over and bolting towards the road. And that's where the video ends. Some might say it's very convenient that the camera cuts before we can get a proper view of the thing, but if I was driving alone late at night and saw something like that, booking it towards me, I wouldn't be sticking around to film it either. Even if it was just like a lone naked man. In fact, especially if it was a lone man. I'd risk capturing footage of a mythical creature, evil or not, but a crazed, nude human being, not quite worth the risk to reward. Number 7, dog head. This is another true story posted to Reddit by user the Putzulu. Anyway, it goes like this. I used to stay at my grandparents' house a lot when I was younger. They wanted to help out and such. They owned a 40 to 50 acre farm with their house about a quarter mile into the woods. It was summer and we were all going to bed. I always have had trouble falling asleep and was the only one awake and was returning from the bathroom to join my cousin on the top bunk with me in the bottom. The bedroom had one window facing a light post my grandparents had installed. I was just covering myself up when I saw something cast a shadow against the window curtain. Once, then twice. It was fast, but I could tell there was something moving outside. I crawl out of the bed, hugging the floor, already scared. I was about a foot from the closed curtain with my eye just above the windowsill. I stared out and nothing happened for a few seconds. Then I saw a figure cast a shadow onto the curtain. It looked like a big dog head. Long snout, tail, pointed ears. It stopped perfectly in the center of the window frame, then slowly turned its head to face me. Froze, but it then raised up a few inches to show its shoulders. I can only describe it as a wolf head on a human body. Then it turned away and moved on. People said I was young, it was only a nightmare. It wasn't. I remember it vividly. I forgot to mention that this window was about 5 feet up from the ground. It was my mother's old room as a child, and when I asked her if she ever saw anything, she paused for several seconds, began to speak, shook her head, and stuttered out a no. She knew the folklore and refused to speak, and we dropped it, but I knew why she responded that way. Never mention them aloud. I can't explain this. I'm still scared to be alone at night there. Even typing this gives me goosebumps. Next up, we have a piece of supposed Skinwalker footage posted to Reddit by user 123. This is a genuinely spooky piece of footage. If it is a hoax, they did a damn good job. Whatever this creature is, it looks creepy as hell. It's hard to make out, but a lot of people say it looks like General Grievous from Star Wars in the face, anyway. Not that you can really tell where this thing's face ends and its body begins. It seems to be crouching in someone's backyard, I guess. Then it gets up and you see that it's this big, hairy creature, possibly bipedal. I hate it. Not something you would ever want to run into at any time of the day, let alone in the dead of night. Only thing that I do find suspect about this video is that someone would just be like standing there all cool, just filming this thing, and instead of immediately running inside and, in my case, having a heart attack. But, you know, cool video nonetheless. Number 5, the Amarillo Zoo creature. This is an image you've likely seen before. It really made the rounds on the internet for a while. It's an image captured on a security camera at the Amarillo Zoo in Texas. Now, if you're thinking it's just an animal from the zoo on its hind legs for some reason, this creature is roaming around on the outside of the zoo. A lot of folks on the interwebs say this looks like a werewolf. Sonic the Hedgehog comes up a lot, although if that's what Sonic looked like in real life, he'd be far less charming than he is in the video games. But if we're talking about a humanoid that can take on an animal form, this is definitely, it fits the bill. A bipedal dog or wolf-like creature, definitely giving me some Skinwalker vibes. What do you think though? Is it just a hoax? Is it real, but something totally innocuous? Post your thoughts in the comments. Number 4, dogs with human heads. Now, I'm not really sold fully on this next story being real, but at the end of the day, who knows? If there's one thing I've learned working on this channel, it's that a lot of bizarre stuff goes on our beautiful planet. Plus dogs with human heads. That is a title that immediately grabbed my attention. So this account was posted to Reddit by user ChiliBot, and it goes something like this. At about 12:12 midnight, my mother heard something hit our front door. This caused my older sister and my mom to be awake at the same time. My sister's dog left her room and barked at the door. But because no further banging was heard, no one came to the front door to further check what the noise was. After my sister's dog stopped barking, my sister then heard the laughing of 2 small girls. The laughing was loud enough for my other sister, whose room is across from my older sister's room, to be awakened by it. My older sister decided to check outside her window and saw 2 white-looking dogs who were the cause of the laughing children's voices. After closely watching the 2 creatures, she then noticed that the 2 white dogs had human heads with flowing human-like hair. They laughed their way down the block, leaving my sister afraid. You know, whether that's true or not, like a dog laughing like a kid with a human head, I don't know what the hell I'm saying right now, but that is a creepy image. Number 3, the abandoned mineshaft Skinwalker. This next clip is just a fantastic video uploaded to YouTube by Danny Donahue. Worth checking out his channel. He has some very cool work on there. And this video is just well done. So, 2 people are standing outside this abandoned mineshaft. They hear this strange sound, almost like an elk call. Deciding to go full horror movie cliche, they decide to go inside the mine to see what it is. And it's eerily quiet. Just an empty tunnel shrouded in shadow. That is until this thing pops out. A slender, pale figure with glowing eyes. Just very effective. Number 2, Coyote. This next Skinwalker account was posted to Reddit by a now deleted user, but it goes as follows. Let me start off by saying my husband is native, and this happened about 6 years before I met him. My ex-husband was stationed in San Diego, and I flew out there to visit him. I found a hotel that wasn't far from the base and close to food and whatnot. I went out to get some food and then walked back to the hotel since it wasn't far. Unfortunately, with my horrible sense of direction, I got lost and ended up near a wooded area. But there was a highway also nearby. I was getting close to sunset and I started seeing sets of shining eyes, and I thought they were just coyotes. I'm not afraid of much. After about 20 minutes, one set of shining eyes got closer, and I saw it was a coyote. I watched Steve Irwin as a teenager and remembered that if you make yourself appear bigger and louder than you actually are, they'll usually just run off, so I started clapping my hands and shouting. This one, however, didn't. It stood up and started walking like a person. I've never run away from something so fast. It never followed me, and I wasn't gonna stick around to find out what it was. It wasn't until I met my current husband that I found out what it was, and the look on his face when I told him this story, he went pale. He never said anything, he just kinda nodded like he understood. Finally, we have Skinwalker Ranch. You can't really do a Skinwalker video without mentioning this hotbed of strange activity. All kinds of weird stuff goes on here. For starters, as the name suggests, there are strange creatures that have been reported in the area who many believe to be the malevolent entities known as skinwalkers. Witnesses at Skinwalker Ranch have reported very eerie encounters with these beings, describing creatures resembling wolves, coyotes, or other animals, but displaying these uncanny level of intelligence and unnatural physical abilities. They've been seen peering into windows, mimicking human voices, and even pursuing those who come too close. But, of course, in addition to all the skinwalker stuff going on, the ranch is a hotbed for other unexplained phenomena, mysterious cattle mutilations, where animals are found with precise surgical-like incisions and missing organs. This could be the work of skinwalkers as well, though. And of course, you get strange lights and UFO sightings regularly illuminating the night sky over the area. With all that said, though, I've been your host, James, and I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next video.